This week on the county seat, we will be talking about the transfer of public land, some of the things that have happened, some of the challenges that the organizations and the people behind the bill face, and some of the headway they've made. One of those questions has to do with whether there is actually a political solution short of a transfer of public lands, which most certainly will be a court battle. Professor Tim Chambliss from the Hinckley Institute of Politics, Bob Kiter from the Quinney Law School, professor also. I'm sorry not to give you the proper title. I guess I'm going to throw out that question. If the problem is that we are not being able to generate revenue to be a healthy state, what's the solution?
The solution probably is not litigation. It's probably a negotiated settlement, a political agreement between state and federal officials. I'm thinking of former Utah Governor Scott Matheson's proposal back in the late 1970s, early 1980s, Project Bold, essentially a land transfer, to transfer certain selected lands back and forth so that the state of Utah would acquire lands that could help its tax base, and the federal government could have land set aside maybe for additional wilderness.
And in fact, there have been some recent federal-state land exchanges along those lines that have gone through, been negotiated between the state and the federal government, been approved by Congress, and moving forward, taking this approach of land exchanges, which would enable the state to block up a number of, in particular, its state school sections, which are now scattered in the various townships across the state. It could achieve much more efficient management, presumably some lands with mineral potential, and derive considerably more revenue from those lands than it currently derives with them in that scattered ownership pattern.
Okay, I am going to take a little turn here, and it's said tongue-in-cheek, but it's a serious question. The rate, let's just take the swap of energy lands versus Bowtie Arch in that area down near Moab that was of recreational value. Everybody agreed on it, and it's what, 12 and a half years, and we're not there yet. So by the time we effectively got this transfer done, we might be part of a space federation somewhere as opposed to the United States. Would we have to, how would we do that? It could take forever.
Litigation is expensive, it's time consuming. Governing can be messy and time consuming. And meanwhile, the problems remain with regard to how we pay to educate our young people.
I should add that if the politicians and the principal leaders, the governor, the heads of the federal land management agencies affected, focused on this and had their employees focus on it, this type of exchange could move forward with more speed than we've seen thus far. Secondly, it's important to come up with a formula for equal valuation of the lands that's required under federal law. That can be achieved with some tweaks to the way the system currently operates, including some revenue sharing provisions after the exchange takes place in order to avoid a windfall to one party or another. There would still remain some of the difficult questions of valuation of mineral lands versus lands for recreational or scenic or ecological value. But again, through the political process, that can be negotiated and has been in the past.
All right, well listen, we'll continue this conversation. Join us Sunday morning at 8:30 on Channel 4 for the county seat. And stay tuned here on Facebook and on the social media because we'll have more of these questions through the week. Thanks for joining us.